Welcome to the tutorial for 4-4, Rescue the Princess. We've given this level a difficulty rating of 4, and an RNG rating of 4 as well. Princess can often be an overlooked level in episode 4 due to the other ones around it, so it's important not to neglect practice on it as it is arguably just as important. This level has the third red brick pickup in the run, Tractor Beam. Tractor Beam is only used once in 6-6 into the Death Star, which makes that level faster on average. Goal times are not incredibly relevant due to the Obi-Wan RNG in the bridge room, but you should be able to consistently hit them without any mistakes regardless. Let's begin. Spam dive rolls with Han while P2 looks for Obi-Wan to swap to. He will almost always be down or to the right. Once you are Obi-Wan, force the door from exactly where you stand. After Han is past the door, you can stop forcing with Obi-Wan and drop him out. On your way to the transition, try killing one stormtrooper with Han so that your party won't aggro in the next room. Next is the Princess out of bounds. Swap P1 to Obi-Wan and get close to the railing. There are two visual cues we'll show to get out of bounds. The first one has Obi-Wan get into the top corner, then jump right to land onto the railing. Tap right until you start falling, and once you see Obi-Wan's feet hit the bottom of the screen, hold left and start jumping up. The second visual cue has Obi-Wan jump onto the middle of the railing. Tap right until he starts falling, and once his head hits the bottom of the screen, hold left and start jumping. These visual cues are very similar, so find the one that works for you. Ensure that you walk off of the edge very slowly to keep your positioning close to the railing. Make sure you don't jump up too high to where you'll pop in bounds, otherwise you'll have to set up the out of bounds again. Take this line to the end of the room, cutting this corner with a double jump. If you miss the jump trying to cut the corner, angle yourself hard left to try and get back under the floor quickly so you don't fall and die. If you are too high, you won't be able to get through this door, so either drop a little bit to go under or go around to the side to get through. Then get close enough to the floor so that Obi-Wan is running against this door out of bounds. Make sure Obi-Wan is on the right side of the door, then jump up quickly to hit the transition. Note that if Obi-Wan is too far left when you jump up, he may pop in bounds without hitting the transition. In the case you do pop in bounds, move to the back of the room here and call in P2. You can then go back and hit the transition to attempt the out of bounds again. It's important to note that if you accidentally go backwards and hit the back transition, you won't be able to attempt the out of bounds, and instead will have to build the R2 panel and use it to progress. Once you enter this room, call in P2. Start jump rolling with Han to hit the transition, but try and kill all the enemies in this room before leaving. Before you start attempting to grab Tractor Beam, you want to kill all the enemies around this area. Take caution with your shots since you don't want to blow up the pipes on the left. This is also why EBB was turned off in Spaceport, otherwise it's very easy to blow up the pipes. Once the first set of enemies are dead, you can move Han up towards the bridge a little to make the camera easier. Then position P2 in between these pipes. Once P2 is inside the pipes a little, while holding neutral, do 2 jumps to clip out of the ceiling. After these jumps, you can wait to land at the top, then do a jump dive straight left to grab the brick. Alternatively, you can hold left after your first jump and spam a jump roll to the left to skip the landing, but it's a little riskier. Once you grab the red brick, drop P2 out and turn EBB back on. Then shoot these 2 enemies while running forward with Han. Note that if you break one of the pipes, you can still grab Tractor Beam. Position your character like this to enter a clipped state into the pipes, and perform the inputs as normal like this to grab the red brick. If you destroyed both pipes, it's impossible to grab the brick, so just continue the room and skip the red brick. Another backup to note is if you get stuck in the pipe like this, simply drop out and let your character super jump out. Let the character finish landing before calling back in and retrying the trick. This next part is important. If you took a while to set up getting Tractor Beam, even if you got it first try, there's a decent chance that Obi-Wan is stuck. This next backup is maybe the most important backup in the game, so make sure you know it. And it's even recommended doing this every time you get here to ensure Obi-Wan does not get stuck. Make sure you turned on EBB before, as it's needed for this. Bring Han to the first elevator and position him on the left side. Make sure he's facing directly left and not like this, otherwise you will have to readjust. Once you have his position set up, press up and attack in quick succession, using this timing for your inputs. If this works, you should hear this sound, a distant explosion of EBB. If your blaster shot blanks, either your position or timing was slightly wrong. Just try setting it up again until you get it. Once you do, head towards the bridge and shoot all the enemies across from it. Once they are dead, head to the left close to the edge and shoot across the bridge to destroy the grapples. Obi-Wan should show up and force the bridge for you. While he's doing that, Keep shooting across the bridge to the left with P1 to blow up any remaining enemy grapples. Call on P2 and shoot any more guys behind you. Once the bridge is down, you can check to make sure all the guys behind you are dead if your party has their guns out. If they do, there are more troopers alive and you must kill them. If they don't have their guns out, they are de-aggroed and there are no more enemies. Head across the bridge and shoot the big barrier with P1. While P1 heads forward, grab the helmet with P2. You can optionally switch P2 to Chewie anytime before this, as he's slightly faster on panels than Luke. While P2 is grabbing the helmet, there are 3 cases you can encounter if you did the previous section correctly. The first case is if this set of boxes is still on your left. If this is the case, shoot the boxes and proceed to the left with Han. The second case is if these boxes are destroyed and you see your party aggro. If this happens, there will be 1 trooper standing around here. Shoot the trooper before you put your helmet on and proceed to the left. The final case is if you have destroyed the boxes but don't get an aggro. If this happens, again, proceed to the left as normal. The other troopers in the hall should de-aggro once you get the helmet, but there's a chance that if you kill a trooper right around when you can move after grabbing the helmet, it will still be aggroed. In this scenario, play this safe and walk first with P1 to check if they are aggro. If the enemy starts shooting at you, stay behind with P2 and dodge shots while P1 cleans them up. Otherwise, keep both players on the right side and jump roll with Han into the next room. Be sure to hug the wall with player 2, otherwise he will get auto-dropped out by the camera. Entering this room, you want to do a single jump with Han. Pay attention to the audio cues to hear if pilot troopers are coming up the grapples. If you hear this, fire a shot at the grapples with Han as he's in the air from the jump. Move right and use the panel with Chewie, then enter the door with Han. If you lose your helmet at any point before the panel gets used, you'll have to go back to where you got your helmet in the bridge room. Make sure if this happens that you shoot the grapples for the pilot troopers and kill remaining troopers before grabbing a helmet again. If you do not get any spawns, place Han at the door and enter it as the panel animation finishes. Move towards the turnstile and build it. It is important that the character that pushes the turnstile must be the one with a helmet. This helps to avoid trooper aggros. While pushing this with Chewie, move to the end of the bridge with Han. Move the turnstile until this point, and then jump roll across with Han and use the grapple. Follow with Chewie and jump across. Wait to go up the second grapple with Han until Chewie steps on the first grapple. This is very crucial to do to avoid a trooper aggro. Once you are at the top with Han, perform 2 jump rolls with Han to move towards the door and hit the transition. In the event of a trooper aggro, kill the troopers up top first before entering the next room. This helps to avoid further aggros in the next room. If you happen to lose your helmet in the previous room but still made it through, you will want to build the turnstile with Han and switch Chewie to Luke. Luke will jump across first and use the 2 grapples as soon as possible. Make your way across with Han as well and go up to the helmet dispenser. Shoot the troopers up top with Luke first and then get the helmet with Han. You can jump across with Luke and proceed through the door with a double jump at the end, making sure not to enter the next room until Han fully has his helmet. Do 3 jump rolls with Han towards the panel and begin building. Chewie will use the panel and then proceed through with Han. Jump roll towards the left elevator and enter it. If you are at low hearts, shoot the enemies in this room with Chewie, especially these ones, to avoid getting shot and dying while going down the elevator. You can optionally kill P2 here to reset hearts, and move around once you are in the elevator to avoid damage if needed. Immediately hold forward and fire a jump shot with both players to kill the front pack of enemies. Kill any remaining enemies if they spawn. Build both levers, pull them, then spam jumps to get over them as you move towards the door. Jump roll with Han, then once you get closer towards the end of the room, if there are enemies spawning at the end, you can fire shots in between jump rolls to get rid of them. Use the far lever with Han and the close one with Chewie. Enter the room and stand on the left button with Han and the right button with Chewie. Han usually enters first, so focus on his button first. After standing on the buttons, there's a refresh rate queue depending on what strat you're doing in the next level. If you are doing the beginner 60Hz route, don't do any refresh rate queue. If you are doing the advanced 40Hz route, use this downtime to queue 40Hz for trash skip. During the end cutscene, switch to 40Hz using an Alt tab to make sure you don't forget in DSE. This concludes the Rescue the Princess tutorial.